Learn how JavaScript uses this when a method is used as a callback and why that causes unexpected results. In this lesson, together we are going to take a look at how this can be lost in callback functions in JavaScript. So the example is going to make use of callback, and then we are going to see when it is being referenced and see what it returns back, due to the fact that the context of this is no longer preserved. So let's move on and then look at that example. In my script tag, I've added some few comments. These are the steps we can use to make the example. We create a person object, we add a method, we call the method, then wait for some few milliseconds and then observe what happens after that 3 milliseconds. So I'll go ahead and make a person's object. So I'll give it first name. And now it also has a first name and last name. And inside it, I have a method for a function. Document.getElement by ID. German. And this is going to be assigned to a variable X. And now I can then use the inner.html to change the contents. Now that I have this, I can come outside of this function and then call a set timeout method. And inside that set timeout method, I will call the function and set 3 milliseconds for it to run. Now watch what happened. Now you can see in the screen, undefined, undefined. Now the disk is already lost in this context because I am passing the callback. I'm passing in the function called as a callback. Now in JavaScript, when you pass a function as a callback, like into set timeout, just as you can see on the screen, it is no longer called from its original object. So this basically means that what I'm doing here is telling us that this function is no longer called from the original object. And because of that, the connection between the function and its object is lost. And this no longer points to the object it originally belonged to. The reason why you are seeing undefined on the screen. So what this code does is that it tries to display a person's full name after 3 seconds using set timeout method. However, instead of working correctly, it demonstrates a common problem. The display function loses its connection to the person object and instead it's now returning undefined. So what we basically have here is this. JavaScript stores the person object with its display method, which is here. Now, this set timeout accommodates the function call and then a timer, which passes only the function and not the object. You can see that what we are passing here is only the function and no longer the object. So after 3 seconds, the browser now calls the function on its own and not inside the object again. And since it's no longer called as person.display, it is the disk part is lost and the function no longer knows it belongs to person. So here are some key concepts that will make this sink better into our head. Callback functions are passed without the original object context. So when it comes to callback, They usually pass without their original object context. You can see the way it is being passed here. Even if we remove the timer, let's see what is going to happen. Even without the timer, it is still the same thing. So that's to tell you that it's no longer remember its original context. Then this depend on how a function is called, not where it is defined. We define this function here, but we are calling it here. So the this part refers to where a function is called, not where it is defined. And then another thing is that object method lose this when detached. Whenever you detach your object, there's high tendency to lose the this, which signifies the references to the original object. Set timeout execute function in a different execution context. You might say, but this execution context when we are calling the function is just a little below the code. Yes. But then what the set timeout is doing is that it executes function in a different execution context. Now let's look at some of the things that we can go away with in this lesson. Number one is that when you pass method as callback, it breaks their connection to the object. And that exactly is what happened here that is making us to see undefined on the screen. Now, JavaScript does not automatically preserve object context unless it is explicitly set or defined. JavaScript does not automatically preserve object context. And in asynchronous code, something like this is a common source of bugs in JavaScript.